What's happening, YouTube? Your man is back. You know who I am, Chucky B, aka the Happy Hatter, aka Gypsy Hustle, aka Mr. Make You Smile. I'm back to do what I do, make you smile. Been away, been on a little, not really on a vacation, but just been away, busy with the kids and stuff like that. So I try to, check in with my people every once in a while. I'm gonna try to do this as much as possible. Shout out to everybody who watches. Shout out to my man Sean, aka S Rags Regadio. So shout out to my man. Shout out, and hopefully your daughter's feeling better. I know she was sick. I know Ryan was sick the last show that I did, which was a few days ago. Hopefully she's feeling better. Okay, now let's jump right into it. Football season, right? Football a couple days away. NFL a couple days away. Um, High school's already started. College has started this weekend, and I'm wearing this Oregon hat today because the Mighty Ducks lost to Auburn, right? But in that game, it showed the importance of conditioning. At least when I was watching the game, I felt like Oregon was pretty much dominating the game. But then in late third quarter, they got a little tired because that's when Auburn made their push, and then Auburn ended up winning the game. But if you watch the game, late in the game, Oregon was doing a lot of arm tackling, and Auburn was running through it. But football is back. Football is among us, and I'm really excited about the college season. Jalen Hurts for Oklahoma looked great. I think he had a total of 6 touchdowns, 4 passing, 2 rushing. Big day. And, I'm really pulling for that guy, man. That guy is a class act. The way he handled his situation at Alabama, not many would have handled it like that. Now, I say that because, Kelly Bryant handled his a little different. And I'm not mad at how Kelly Bryant handled his either because, he was starting, the team was undefeated. And then, though the backup quarterback was pretty good from Clemson, can't think of his name right now, but he's a pretty good quarterback. He's a starter. He's the golden boy, the next coming of Tom Brady, whatever you want to call him. But I'm not mad at how Kelly Bryant handled his situation either. But the way Jalen Hurts handled his situation, I mean, not many of us would have handled it like that. So kudos to Jalen Hurts. And yes, I am pulling for him. If you know him, let him know that his man, a.k.a. Chucky B, Gypsy Hustle, the Happy Hatter, Mr. Make You Smile, is pulling for him, all right? Now, to continue on the football theme, of course, my man Jadeveon Clowney got traded. The Houston Texans, okay, they need to get a general manager because the moves that they're making, from what I'm hearing from the NFL streets, from the streets of the NFL, is that these moves wouldn't be happening if they had a general manager. So, Houston, get you a GM in there. Find you one of these young, up-and-coming assistant GMs. Don't go with a retread. Don't go with a retread. I'm all for the players, and I'm all for players getting opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So find you an up-and-coming GM that's been an assistant for a little bit and give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he could do better than what's going on. They lost Clown. They got Barcavius Mingo, and they gave up a 3rd-round pick. Seattle gave up Barcavius Mingo, a 3rd-round pick, and there was another player involved. I can't think of the name. But big ups to Seattle because that makes them definitely defensively one of the scarier teams in the West because now they got an edge rusher. Everyone wants an edge rusher because the league has turned into a passing league. So everyone wants that edge rusher. All right, so now they got one in Jadeveon Clowney. All right, sticking with the football theme. Zeke ain't back yet. All right, so now this is the thing though. So Jerry Jones wants to play the games with Zeke. That's fine. It's just a part of the business. But I don't know if you remember a few years ago not a few, but a while back, Emmitt Smith had the same issue with the contract. So they didn't want to pay Emmitt and lost the first 2 games. Then they paid Emmitt and brought him back. Similar situation, but I think Jerry Jones will pay Zeke because he's back in Dallas now. So I think the talks are closer. They will take care of Zeke because Jerry remembers that. And, Jason Garrett said something to the effect of, he doesn't need much. He's already up to speed with things. So, my only concern with that is Don't give him such a workload early because, yeah, he may be doing things to stay in shape, but it's not the same. You know, your type of conditioning when you do it on your own is a little different when you got it with the group. So hopefully they don't give him too much work of a workload, and because that's when injuries happen. You know, right? They need to manage that workload. You know, I'm talking from a professional athlete. I never played football, but not professional football, but basketball. You got to manage that workload. You know what I'm saying? Especially when a guy hasn't been with you, because that's when the injuries happen. All right. Sticking with football, my man Gronk opened up. This is a little bit ago. You know, I've been off for a few days. You know, Gronk opened up about his retirement, man, and just said that, you know, his body was hurting, man. You know, so, you know, and I'm going to circle back around to the Doug Gottlieb comments, where Doug Gottlieb has so much to say about Andrew Luck being the most millennial thing he's ever heard or seen or whatever it is. Yo, if you've never played that sport and you've never went through the pounding that Andrew Luck went through, you need to button it up, B. You know what I'm saying? Button it up. You know, you have no idea what that man's body feels like. So stop it. And I hate to circle back around and even spend, you know, anything on Gottlieb, but, you know, sometimes he throws my name in his mouth for some reason whenever it comes to like guys changing teams, because if you didn't know, I'm the record holder. I was the first to get the 12 teams, the most teams played on in the NBA. So he always seems to throw my name up when something like that happens. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, keep my name out your mouth too, Doug, because I don't know you like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you like that. So, you know, he had the audacity to come on my Facebook stream, you know, one time. But it's all good. But you know, keep my name out your mouth if it ain't nothing positive. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about you, so don't talk about me. But I'm talking about you now, though, because you're talking about me. All right. Next thing. All right. You know, prayers to the hurricane victims of the Bahamas. You know, I've watched a little television, and I mean that the Bahamas took a real beating. So hopefully we band together, the world bands together, not just one particular place, but the world bands together and helps these people of the Bahamas, because there are a lot of people that lost everything. So let's help them get back on their feet. You know, that would be a great thing to do. Speaking of great, it's a great time of year right now. Like I said, I talked about it's football time. So now you're about to have college football, pro football, baseball, and you know, at the end of the month, this is what, August? No, this is September. At the end of the month, basketball is going to start up soon. So you're going to have basketball, baseball playoffs, college football going to be getting into the mix, pro football going to be getting into the mix. So this is a great time of year. You know, so this is probably the best time of year because you have all those sports. And then you got hockey that's going to start up. So, you know, it's a great time to be a sports fan. Now, speaking of sports fans, man, Mark Cuban said something. You know, and I said something one time on my show that, you know, the NBA does a great job of staying relevant. Like, in the summertime, all you talk about is NBA. You know what I'm saying? Baseball going on, and you still talking about NBA. You know, the NBA, you know, now we still talking about NBA. You know, so it's like NBA gets talked about year round. Now, Mark Cuban brought up an interesting thing where he said that the NBA sells its players while the NFL sells the NFL. So, I find that to be kind of true. You know, the NBA is more of a players' league. It is a players' league. The NBA, it is a players' league. The only thing, like I said before, that I wish the NBA would do a better job at is finding players, instead of some of these guys that are coaching, finding more former players to work with these athletes. I think that would be the one thing that the NBA needs to work on. You know, just find a way to find out which players are built for coaching, because not all players are built for the coaching. You know, but find out which ones are built for the coaching, and they need an opportunity to do that, because you have a lot of guys that should be on Wall Street that are actually on NBA bench for living their dream to coach. I mean, even in college, you got people living their dream to coach these athletes that they would never be able to come in contact with. And my personal opinion is, you know, find some former players to do the. You know, basketball players should run basketball. Football players should run football. Now, yeah, you might need the numbers guy. Okay, let me get me a numbers guy. You know what I'm saying? But as far as basketball decisions, basketball people need to be making basketball decisions because it's more than just running and jumping in the game. You know what I'm saying? So the comments that Mark Cuban made, I somewhat agree with them, and I've not always agreed with what Mark Cuban has said and done. But I do think that, you know, that's the one thing that the NBA, that's one of the things that the NBA needs to work on. And the NBA has been great. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is great. We have a retired players union that's been great. They try to help you find opportunities. But like I said, find more former players to work with these guys, because if I got a guy like not LeBron, I'm not going to use LeBron. I'm going to use a guy, up and coming guy like, say, Giannis. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy like Giannis. Milwaukee did the right thing. There's no better guy to work with Giannis than Vin Baker. You know what I'm saying? Vin Baker was an Olympian. You know, he was a great player in Milwaukee. I played with Vin. Vin was a great player in Milwaukee. Vin was also a great player in Seattle. You know, he had his issues later, which, you know, people have issues and people make mistakes and stuff like that. So, but that doesn't take away from what Vin can contribute to helping Giannis grow as a player, because if Giannis had Vin's footwork, that turnaround face, jab step, whack up in your face, if Giannis can develop that in his game, you know, that would be awesome. Now, the NBA game has changed a lot and has gone to more of a three-point shooting game, living by the three, dying by the three type of thing. And really the inside and the mid-range game has been gone, has been taken away. But that's just my example. You know, a guy like a Vin Baker, you know, even a guy like, why isn't a guy like a Gary Payton? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't a guy like Gary Payton on a coaching staff helping guards? You know what I mean? You got Jason Kidd, which I think is a great hire by Frank Vogel. I think a lot of coaches are insecure and they think that a guy's going to stab him in the back, which, you know, you gotta kind of feel a guy out, talk to a guy, because it's got to be more than just hiring your friend. You know what I'm saying? Your friend that don't know basketball, but you trust your friend, but your friend don't know basketball. You know what I'm saying? You're a basketball coach, all right? So, you know, hopefully, you know, in the future, you know, it don't have to be me. I'd love to coach at that level. I coach at the high school level now. I'd love to coach at the NBA level, of course. But it don't have to be me, but for the future, you know, future guys that want to get into coaching, I think, you know, they should be awarded the opportunity before you get one of these Wall Street cats that should be a banker, instead of them getting the opportunity, which they want to watch a video or go on YouTube and get a workout and bring it to you. You know what I'm saying? So I have seen that type of stuff too. So, but yeah, that's it from your man. You know what I'm saying? I just had to check in. You know, hopefully everything is going great for everybody. And, you know, I just wanted to check in and make sure everybody was cool. I'm checking out now. Shout out to those Carolina Tar Heels. Got to give them a shout out. I know my NC State people are like, what are you doing? But my daughter's a Tar Heel. So, hey, shout out to the Tar Heels. The women's soccer. Let me be specific. Be specific. The women's soccer program, all right? Shout out to them. Ranked number 1 in the country. Florida State lost to UCLA. So Carolina was 2, went out to Washington, won 2 games against the University of Washington and Portland, and now they are the number 1 women's soccer team in the country. So shout out to them. I will be attending their game against Wake Forest. Shout out to them. So young ladies, keep your head up and stay focused. And Isabella, hey, keep working hard. You know, you're at the right place. Keep working hard. You're with the right coaches, you know, and keep developing your game. So it's your man signing out. Your man Chucky B, a.k.a. The Happy Hatter, a.k.a. Gypsy Hustle, a.k.a. Mr. Make You Smile. All right? Make somebody smile. All right? And remember, stand for something or fall for anything. All right? I'm out. Peace and love.